too. We have a 1/2 inch ladder. I'm going to wrap all the way on both sides. I'm going to start to rough in the overall shape of it. I'm starting to shoulder and move back. Sort of square still here and here, but I broke over a lot of the corners and the router helped me take off a lot of material really quickly. So I want these lines in here to be really nice and straight and clean. So what I'm going to do is go back over under the flat here, and I'm going to use this vertically. So I'm going to rotate the whole knife this way.
Oh, okay.
And that will straighten everything out. So you see how it's sort of wobbly right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Now my lines are instantly almost nice and straight and symmetrical. When we're working with softer materials like G10 and any of the natural materials, that lets us make really nice smooth curves to give us an end result that feels really nice and round.
Wow.
Now, we got to do our small wheel. Basically, all of our curves in the shop, as far as finger grooves and coils, are usually one of these two little wheels. So we have our larger and our smaller size. For the finger notch on the Bushcrafter, we use the larger one. Now this is really, really sharp right in here right now. It's got a corner that we really don't want. And if you look at any of the finished Bushcrafters, they don't really have this. So I'm going to show you how we take that. We'll start with a 36 grit belt, which is what we've used to shape the entire thing. We'll make sure that this is a nice, smooth curve inside that matches that little wheel. And we'll rock it so the overall is smooth. And then, to get rid of this corner, all we do is pull the knife up across there.
That's cool.
It'll make it fit much, much nicer in your hand. And same thing, kind of turn that, take out any of those hard corners, so smooth that out. Now we have a nice smooth section for our hand. Feels really good in there. curved this way so it fits in the or your finger fits in there much better. And that's that.
That's awesome.
And as we're stepping through our processes, we're going from a 36 grit to all the way up to a 320 grit, depending on what kind of finish. So if it's a matte finish, if it's a polished finish, if it's a mountain finish, all those things kind of play a role in the different, like in what steps are required. So for this, I'm going to take this up to a 320 polished finish. So I want all my scratches to step down evenly. So if you look in the metal here, there's these really deep scratches.
Yeah.
That's from shaping it. But now, when you look at this side,
Yeah.
I've smoothed that out a lot. So I've stepped down a grit on that. I'm going to do more of that in a minute. Now that section is good. Now we'll go on to the antique. This is one of the oldest machines in the shop. LT had this in his basement, and he's used it ever since he really started making knives, and we still use it in the shop today. So, to get those heavier scratches out of the back and out of out here, and everything vertically. Start squaring off that spine. Now you can see how much smoother it is,
Yeah.
compared to what it was, and it's the same and consistent all the way around. There. Now, because of the way everything gets shaped, I don't want those scratches running the length of the knife. I want them running perpendicular to it. So, I'm back on. I'm just changing their direction, which helps smooth out the overall appearance of everything.
That's all about to ask. What's the point? What's the purpose of changing the direction of the scratches?
Well, when I will finish shape it, like the next step in the process will be done this way. So as I move through the lower grits, that'll help. Them being in that direction will help make it easier for me.
Okay.
So right now I'm using a 120 grit belt. I'm going to use a 120 grit belt to finish shape it the rest of the way, but I'm going to be working with it this way primarily. I'm not going to do this at all.
Right.
So then I'm going to step down to a 320, which is this. There, you can feel the difference. Here's a 120, and here's a 320. Feel how much smoother it is.
Yeah.
So if I have the scratches already in line with how I want them to look when I'm done, it's going to mean less work on the 320. I'm going to be able to go over that the same way, and they'll line up much better and go away much quicker.
Okay.
It's just sort of a time saver, honestly. And now I'm going to go ahead and shape the knife down. 36 seconds, but I'm taking my time on this one because I wanted to make sure I saw everything. So there's a 120 finish. Now, if I was matte finishing the knife, it would be done. And I would take it back to our Sharpening wheel or our bead glass cabinet. And that would be it. Belt? In the box. Alright. So now I'll step down to the 320 belt and I'm going to go ahead and set this up so I can polish it. So it's just a question of going over it again. You never ever want to work in the same sections twice. So you've seen me come on this way and kind of move around. Constant motion is very important to giving it that very smooth texture overall. So I'm hitting all the same areas. I'm doing it in slightly different ways though every time. And again, that's just because if I do it the same exact way more than once, I'll end up with what we call wear marks, where the belt is riding in the same place over and over and over again. It'll change the shape of it, and it won't be smooth the way I want it to be. As long as I keep moving, nice, consistent, even, soft finish. There we go. Now that's right there where changing the direction of the scratches is saving me a lot of time and a lot of effort because I don't have to worry about changing the direction of them on this grit. They're already going in the direction I want. I'm just smoothing them out.
So like you said, you just set yourself up for easier work.
That's it. That's it. And normally, the way we move this process is one guy does one job, then another guy does the next job, then that first guy will step around and will leapfrog down through the process. So we're always trying to make the next guy's job easier. So whoever would strap for me would be saving me a lot of time with just a few little steps on their side. And maxing out that productivity and ease for everybody. We're always trying to make it better. Look around the tail.
It's crazy how big of a difference when you switch those belts. It just gets smoother and smoother, nicer and nicer. And at some point, you wouldn't know that if you didn't experiment with it. You know, you could just be satisfied with what you had before this.
Right.
But taking it that extra step, it's like, oh, this is even nicer than what it was.
Now you see me going up and down like this on the belt. Between this point and this point, the flex is different. So down here, where I push in, it will flex more than it will on this side. And up here, it'll be more on this side and less on this side. In the middle, it's about even. By doing this, I'm using that to help shape the steel in the material. Give me a smooth, symmetrical, even curve across the whole thing. Now, I'm not as tall as LT, so he normally works up here. So I kind of have to take his process sometimes and twist it around a little bit. I had to bring a stool out for a knife fire. So,
I'm standing right here, Nick.
so that is a 320 finish, which is now ready to polish. So you see that it still has a matte color and texture to it. Now, we're going to change that completely. We have two wheels. We have a soft or a hard felt wheel. And if you look at the side of it here, you can see that it's stitched. That stitching makes it tighter and stronger. Whereas this one, if you look at the side of it, is not stitched. It's all loose. These layers all flop together.
So when you turn that on, it pulls it together.
It does tighten up, but not as hard as this.
Okay.
So you see they're both coated in this green compound. This stuff is the lifeblood of the shop. We use it for sharpening, for handle finishing, pretty much everything. Alright, now, matte. Polished. Part 1. Now I'm going to step over to the other wheel, and I'm really going to smooth that out and shine it up.
Wow, look at that. That is crazy. That'll just pull right out of your hand if you don't got a good grip on it.
Oh, yeah.
Fighting you like that.
You gotta be real careful. This is actually probably one of the most dangerous parts of the process. Now again, as I'm doing this, I'm looking for scratches from previous grips. I'm looking for inconsistencies in the finish, the material, the way the steel is lying with the micarta. I want it to all be smooth and consistent. Now, let me grab the oil here. How about a paper towel? Sweet.
Is that what you want?
That's what mine has on it.
Now,
That one I just bought?
take a little bit of cleaner,
What does that mean?
compound off.
So the one I got was 8.
There you go.
There's a couple of them sitting around.
Look at that.
Well, you can't find that anywhere else.
Beautiful.
So that's how we polish a knife.
It's awesome. Start to finish. Beautiful.
Wow.
He's not here, man.
It's amazing how quick
you want
made
Jonathan?
that look that pretty.
Everybody's in it, man.
How are you gonna drag them all around behind you?
All right, so we stopped off at LT's today, LT Wright Knives. We are on our way to the Pathfinder gathering tomorrow, and we drove up here to hang out with these guys and see how stuff's done. So we'll finish with Nick and his part 2 of working on this Bushcrafter, and bring you along for the process. So take a look inside the shop real quick. Got a lot going on. Mr. Longbow, Silveroo right there. He's a superstar, absolute superstar. Got Mr. Jeff Courtney back there, another superstar in the house. Stumping's here. We got Mr. Mike, Mr. LT. This lady right here is a world champion. Will kick your ass if you mess with her wrong. Winner of the women's blade sport cutting competition. And yeah, there's a lot going on. We got stuff dyed on the table and a bunch of fun stuff. So we'll get back with Nick and finish this sharpening fun.
What's the name of that material?
What material?
That plain.
Your mom.
So cool.
That's what we call it. Your mom.
It's not your mom.
Purdy. Mustard. We're actually going to go down the screws. Okay. So, when we grind our knives, we don't have anything more than that, just because it's safe.
Yeah.
So, put that finish edge on, we use a flatten and a 120 belt. Well, Scooter does it a couple different ways, but this is my favorite way of doing it. That's setting the bevel for the sharpened edge. What I'm feeling for here is a burr. So when I bring that material down to the point where they touch, or meet, whatever, it's going to roll over a little bit. That rollover is called the burr. You can feel it because when you pluck it like this, there's resistance. And that's the material pushing over a little bit on one side or the other. And once I have a consistent burr on both sides, or the ability to push it from side to side, so I was plucking it this way and you can feel it. Now, since I cut this way, I'll be able to pluck this way and feel it. And now again, now I'm comfortable with that. So I know that my steel is zeroed out and that I have a good bevel in place. I'm happy with how it looks. It's nice, consistent height all around on both sides. I'm looking down the knife this way to make sure that my tip is in the middle, which it is, and I'm all the way back as far as I can go in the grind. So now, what these wheels do, this is a felt wheel, and this is a soft wheel, just like what we use to polish the handle. The felt wheel and this soft wheel do the same thing as a stropping belt, just 1,000 times faster. So what I'm doing here is exactly the same as people with leather strops, just quicker. And again, you can see we're using the green compound on both of these wheels to actually do our cutting for us. And that's going to give us a nice, smooth polish on that cutting head. You guys might be wondering how we get that squared off spine that's really got the nice clean termination at the bottom. This is it. That's our very last step before it goes to the cleaning table. And now, there's some scratches in there, so I want to get those out. There we go. Now you can feel that that's got a nice squared off spine back there. Good for striking on a rod. Yeah. Alright. And absolutely every knife, without exception, gets paper checked before it goes out the door. Woo. Normally that's on and we'll stick the paper straight to it. But it's broken right now. But yeah, so that's sharpening a knife.
So you finished that whole knife. That's quick.
From shape to sharp. I could have done it a lot faster. Yeah. But yeah. So now it would go to get cleaned. Yeah. Scooter and I kind of have a...
Look out!
Yeah.
Just got to sharpen the walk-in, guys.
Scooter and I kind of have a bet.
Alright, that's going to be the real thing.
That I can sharpen just as good as he can now because he taught me everything he knows.
I want him to sharpen better. I don't care. The throwdown will be I can sharpen a pair of vice grips.
Oh!
There you go.
I'm down. Bring it on.
I don't know how he treated a vice grip handle is, but I'm going to try one someday.
You see they're making those wrench knives now. I'm sure we could do something.
Okay.
Go to Big Lots and buy them.
This is a walk-in customer brought in 6 knives to sharpen.
Well, see, they even do that here. You can even bring your knives and they'll sharpen them for you.
If somebody brings in a knife, I try and just buff it and not take any steel on it, unless it's really jacked up. One done. 5 to go. Those are pretty damn sharp already. I mean, they're not bad.
Oh, I didn't check them. Well, that one ain't.
All right, so we just saw it wouldn't even cut paper. It's awesome.
That's crazy.